Good evening, everybody. Welcome back for another episode of the SRA Grid Report. This week we're doing things a little bit differently, as you can see. We've got no GT3 racing going on as we've taken the time off for Valentine's Day, but we still want to bring you guys a good show, so we've taken the opportunity of bringing the head honchos of SRA on board, Tyler James and Doug Mitchell. Boys, how are we doing tonight?
Hey, doing pretty well. Excited to finally make the podcast. Been wondering if I was gonna be able to get on here, but excited to be here, boys.
Can you smell that? That's love in the air. Glad to be here.
I am cringing already.
Kip, I have also been waiting eagerly for an email for the invite to join the SRA podcast, but couldn't be happier to be here. League mom and dad are ready to party.
That is awesome to hear, and can't forget about our great co-host here, Bailey. How are we doing tonight?
I'm excited for this one, and I hope everybody is listening is the same way.
As am I. Right around the table, nothing but excitement. It's a great honor to get to have you guys on. Yeah, it has been a little bit, but we really wanted to perfect this so we can have an effective show here. It'd be a shame to bring you on, have a 5-minute talk, and then call her a night. So let's get to it, shall we? We just had Friday night's first round of the multi-class Mayhem series. I didn't make it out for the races. Were you out there, Bailey?
No, I was also gone, unfortunately, but there was a lot of people.
Yeah, I heard I'm pretty sure we did clip the full amount. We split into two servers just to facilitate everybody coming out and racing. And from what I hear, it was action from start to finish of both of those 30-minute sprints.
Say Curtis Lee heads up that multi-class mayhem, and he was very proud to be able to split that into two different uh, sessions there. And what was great is that he separated the first group into divisions 1 and 2 drivers, and then the second split was divisions 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there was some similar pace spreads across both, so it was pretty competitive from what I hear.
Exactly. We were able to keep, like you said, keep a competitive field, even though we did have a boatload of drivers sign up, and pretty even split from GT3 to GT4. When I last checked, we had 72 cars registered, 37 GT3, 35 GT4, which, by the fact that we had the split servers, definitely went up, but was pretty even down the board. Looking forward to round 2 at Coda. I'm hoping to make it out to that one, but Donington, I will say, I don't think anybody noticed that race 2 was supposed to be at night. I know there was a
Was
lot
it
of...
not at night?
It was at night, but there was a bunch of people
Oh,
in the Discord who were like, why is the server pitch black? Why is it 10 degrees outside? What's going on? Got a little surprised with that one.
huh. And Donington was the 2 race a night, right?
That's correct. Coda for round 2 is going to be the typical 90-minute race with one mandatory pit stop, 1 liter refueling required for both classes of car. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes up.
For sure, for sure.
And just trying to find them here, we did have the winners posted. So in race 1 in the Daytona split, which I'm assuming is the Division 1 and Division 2 split, Brandon Chan, Victor Diaz, and Mr. Sir take the podium in the GT3 class. Michael Moning, Riley Palmer, and Patrick Russ take the podium in the GT4 class. And in split 2, race 2, sorry for that split, Mr. Sir, Victor Diaz, Brandon Chan, they swapped themselves around. And in the GT4, Michael Moning went 2 for 2, Patrick Russ brought himself up a spot, and Riley Palmer fell down to 3rd. So, I mean, a little bit of repetition, but those are some very tight splits up there, as you can see from the GT3 races that are going on. But
Yeah.
split number 2 saw Sam Reck take the win in GT3, Lee Huber in 2nd, Selena Boonstra in 3rd. GT4 saw our host Curtis Lee take the win, Zach Whitesell in 2nd, Thomas Greer in 3rd. And in their second race...
Now you know why it was split into two groups.
Yeah.
Curtis wanted that dub.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did want that
Did what
dub.
I would do. We're gonna split it up so that way I can finally get a win.
What? Personal
Riley, you know what that
interest coming
means?
into
That
play?
Curtis is definitely admin material.
You're right.
He's getting an invite to this year's SRA cruise.
Ah, the SRA cruise, the ever elusive cruise. He's been on his 2-season cruise, and it's nice to see he's checking back in with us at least.
To be fair, he deserved it, and I want to say we were able to get him the internet package this time, so that's why he's able to check in. So.
Yeah, no,
Good
That
for
is
him.
not cheap in this economy. Okay, let me tell you.
no, it is
You know,
not.
I'm wondering, do the listeners even know the origins of the cruise meme?
I
No,
do not think they do. Why don't you walk us down that path,
no
Tyler?
chance.
Oh, Doug, what season was it? Was it season 4?
Something like
I
that.
think it was season 4. We were starting out the season, and Doug and I were both missed a race that season, and we were both on cruises. I think they were like 2 or 3 weeks apart, and so it became a meme that it was like we just went on a cruise, and I think it was like right after we turned on like Patreon or Discord memberships, and then so everyone was just joking on us that that's where the Patreon subscriptions were going towards, were admin cruises, and so a meme was born. And now anytime someone brings up donating to SRA, it's that way the admins can go on the cruise.
That is
Can go on
the
a cruise.
sole reason why there's the SRA livery stream reveal every season.
Exactly.
Just
the cruise
just
funds.
farming at that
Raising
point.
funds. So that being said, who is next on the cruise list? Is it Curtis, or is it back to the top?
Oh, I think Al's definitely earned a cruise. Al's. I mean, let's be real. All the admins should go on a cruise. Day he's on his right now. Then I think Al is next with seniority, and then Dom definitely needs one after putting up with stewarding for season and a half, 2 seasons, however long it's been. Because God, that man does a ton of work and deals with a lot of just like shade. Some people throw some real shade at the stewards that I don't think they realize who that it's a real person behind the screen making those calls.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, the work itself is just extremely tedious. So, however, like the very small percentage of people that are a little bit, passionate, we'll call it, in the ticket submissions, there is a overwhelming majority of people that are very respectful to our stewarding team.
Agreed.
And all that being said, despite all how genuinely nice those people are, they're still opening a ticket, which we encourage. But the workload, given the size of our league now, is just immense. So kudos to Duran and all of his stewarding teams for taking on that challenge and doing a fantastic job as far as I'm concerned.
Doug, I was thinking about this the other day. I was really thinking like our ratio to probably like respectful and thankful people to the we'll call them passionate people is pretty high. But it's funny, it's like one passionate person can like totally undo the work of like the 20 people that are thankful and like, oh, thank you for everything, helping out and really appreciate everything. There's like that one passionate person that can just they wear you down. That like it's amazing how much damage that just one person can do compared to like the 20 people that are awesome and great. And I don't know, maybe that's just my thoughts, Doug.
I think it's human nature to really focus on negativity or just frustration in general. It can really stand out when you're really just looking at the whole picture. But I think that it goes without saying that Tyler and I are immensely proud of what this league has amounted to and the personalities that have really come to light. And I get an absolute kick reading through the Discord and seeing just how alive it is. Tyler and I have fond memories of opening the Discord last December, and he and I were answering every single little post in each channel. We had like 15 channels back then, and it was just admins talking to each other. It was kind of cringe. But now Tyler and I joke we can't keep up with a single channel in SRA anymore, let alone the entire thing. So it's
Especially
really
especially this D5 chat that's happening.
Oh
the
man.
bread chat.
Oh,
Oh,
I had
Brad.
to mute that
Yes.
one.
I love that chat, and my
Yeah.
personal favorite is Spangler's posting chat. I
Yeah.
go in there and I literally just read it. I chuckle to myself about the absolute mess that he's created, and I love every second of it. So, this is a very long-winded way of saying that, in short, the staff here at SRA is an absolute blessing. You guys know who you are. And the league is just getting larger and larger, and everyone's taking that in stride. And despite having some people that really feel like they need to express their passion in a public forum and their frustrations, um, that is a very much a minority compared to the overwhelming support and love we get from the community as a whole. So,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, so thanks to all you guys for that. And thanks to Josh and Bailey for, personifying that in this format.
We appreciate that, and like that whole conversation there really speaks back to what you guys like to refer to as the mission statement of the league, and what you guys are really after in promoting this, and that's an environment for clean and safe racing, where you can also turn to your competitor who's next to you and try to learn something from them. And I mean that's sometimes a tough line to teeter on when it comes to racing, but yeah, this community and through the admin staff and the people that are here have proved to build quite an awesome place to race.
I think from the get go, we were very intentional about, even though we were all racing against each other, we wanted to beat each other on skill, not just on game knowledge. So we were very adamant, like in the beginning, of sharing all the tips and tricks and secrets of ACC, since Kunos decides to not put any of that information in the game, and basically has like a good old boys club of how you have to find out this information sometimes. Just you've got to know somebody who knows.
Hmm.
But we were we were always adamant about, hey, make sure everybody knows this is the best way to do this. This is the reason why you do this. Even though we were, you know, directly competing against each other, it was more important to us that the community was bonding that way than to try and beat somebody on track.
Exactly.
No.
ACC
Yeah.
has layers, and onions have layers,
Mm.
and so do ogres.
I was gonna say
ACC
a
is
very famous
Shrek.
ogre sounds familiar here.
ACC is Shrek, confirmed.
Oh my. I
Yeah.
think that needs to be the name of the episode right there.
ACC
ACC
is
is Shrek
Shrek.
confirmed.
Yeah. Now,
You
the
don't know
one
those
thing,
layers? Parfaits. Everybody loves parfaits.
Everybody loves
our face.
parfaits.
Dang, now you're getting me hungry. The one thing that I do want to branch off of that is the thing that impresses me the most about what you guys have created is that there's no real prize of winning. It's more of the competitive aspect, the 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 urge to go into each week or the event and just be the best in their division and their group of their friends. So the motivation league wide is what impresses me the most.
Doug,
Uh,
can I get it, or do you want to take this one, or do you want me to give my like spiel on this one? I know we've talked about this at nauseum.
Go ahead. I will chime in if there's something that I think we all know what the real prize is, but I think you know what I'm hinting at.
Well, let me just say,
Friendship.
adamant. The
Friendship.
friends we made along, we were adamant from the get go there'd be no prizes for winning the championship,
Yeah.
like at least cash prizes.
Hmm.
One, because could you imagine how frustrated you get when there's like an accident in the race. Now imagine that frustration when there's money on the line.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the stewarding would be always be on fire. People would not be friendly with each other because they'd be trying to win a cash prize. And honestly, we don't want the drivers that are motivated by that in our league, because I don't think they'd be a good fit. I mean, not everyone's a good fit for SRA, to be honest. Um, and like we've seen other places that kind of prioritize like monetization, and like I know other league owners that are like that have tried to make the league basically their new job and how they want to live, and they want to make money off of it and all that kind of stuff. And there's just there's just not enough money in something like that. So I think it's kind of foolish. And two, I think you can just hurt yourself in the long run. You just hurt the quality of the league.
Yeah.
The real prize is the ability to do a shoey in front of
Amen.
all of your friends
You got
and
it.
competitors at the end of the season. In fact, I think SRA might be the only league I've ever seen where the winners actually have to suffer. They have a punishment, and so I don't know. Maybe there's something dark there that everybody who loses is happy to see that, or I don't know. But
There's some equilibrium, I mean,
yeah,
you get to win, you get to tout the fact that you're a league champion, you have the extra emojis next to your name that really preface your innate skill, but guess what? You're drinking out of a shoe.
There you go. Are you really winning at that point?
Are you
Yeah. Oh,
you're
winning,
winning.
son?
Yeah.
Are you winning, son?
Yeah, if you do a good enough shoe, you get turned into a meme, and then
Yeah.
you're legendary at that point. So
Shout out Austin Sawyer for
Oh, the
Yeah.
booty.
the booty.
booty.
Or you get to end up on Michael Jeffrey's shoey.
Oh, that was an incredible shoey in the throwback
That was
to the OG shoeys. Was too funny, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't even honestly just not even joking here. I don't remember like what inspired the original shoey. It was just
I
like
do.
you. So I have a terrible memory, like full transparency. My memory is atrocious, but Tyler, if you know the
Yep.
context, I'd love to relive that with you.
Yep. Matthew Schwartz. Matthew Schwartz, one of the founding admins in season 0, got a podium, not even a race win, and did a shoey and posted a picture in the other Discord. And so that inspired our season 0 champion, Mr. Chris PBJ Hannigan himself, to do a shoey video and to thank everybody for setting the league up and thank his competitors and all that stuff. And he did a cool little shoey video. And so from there, like, the tradition was born, and we're like, all right, well, once Doug won season 1, there was just everybody's like, are you gonna do a shoey like PBJ did? And Doug's like, yeah, I'm gonna do a shoey. And so that sealed it. Then boom, it's now tradition. You have to do it if you win at SRA.
and it's an
And we've
awesome
become
tradition.
it's really holistically just hilarious, but I think that we've gotten more lenient with what a shoey entails. We've included it to other vessels and other products, whether that be milk or water. Anyone that drinks water out of a shoe, I don't know what.
I was gonna say that might be worse
Yeah,
It is.
honestly.
It
because
is
you can
most-
see everything that's floating.
well, that, and it does not disguise the taste.
Not at all.
Whatsoever.
No.
But yeah, I ultimately we've gotten some flack in the past where people have said that we're like quote unquote bullying people to drink out of shoes, but it's always in jest. And at the end of the day, we want those that have succeeded in the league to really tout that experience, because I mean, some people, it's a once in a lifetime thing. You get to really celebrate your victory, and then you get to go down in infamy on a stream, which is, I think, it's pretty special.
Then you get cursed for the next season.
There you go. It's yeah, it hasn't been. I don't think it's been proven as a curse, but it's winning a championship and then typically followed by moving up a class or a division is not yielded well for some. But yeah, the tradition of shoeys has been an awesome touch. I mean, getting to see the personal side of everybody. A lot of people take it to extreme lengths. I do not remember the person who did the fake Eastern European spy. I don't know if I should mention countries with what's going on right now. And then proceeded to drink out of a water bottle that was inside of a flip-flop. If I remember
Was that Robbie
correctly.
Toddy?
I was gonna say that might be Robbie
I
Todd.
think
Robbie
so,
Toddy.
but that
Yeah,
was
that
just
was
so
legendary.
creative.
He's
And
not fake. He's from an Eastern European country.
okay,
Him and Ron
Okay.
Flo, I think, are
Yeah,
related.
yeah.
interesting.
Well, I don't know if they're related.
They're at least
but
friends. They're minimum friends.
But yeah, and it it brings out a lot of fun, and I don't know, you watch it, some people you've never talked to comment on your video, hey, that was really good, that was hilarious. Then all of a sudden you've made a new friend in the league. You've made a new person to race with. It's it's been a
It
great community.
it also humanizes everybody in the league. So I think sometimes like when you join any internet community, sometimes you just see a bunch of names like you don't really know who's behind it. And
Yes.
the more you feel like you know people, the more you feel connected to them, the more respect you give them, the more you treat them like a real person versus you see some other internet communities like you just see a username and you can attack somebody. That's also why we make people use real names in our Discord. There's a couple of reasons. One, you need to know who you're racing on track, and the name you see on track needs to be associated with the name in the Discord, so that way you can know who's who, right? But then also, the more we're all people, the more we're willing to like treat each other that way. Versus if we are, Dog Slayer 69, you're not really going to give that guy like the same respect you would as,
What did he say?
Douglas Mitchell.
Dog Slayer. That's
Dogs,
so dark.
the poor
I don't know,
puppies.
man.
What did they do?
Oh gosh.
What did the dog do?
That's what the dog doing.
But no, I agree. Humanizing the league, and it really builds that extra layer of grace that people are affording each other. So it's been good. It's been really good. We've uh we've been very specific on how to format things, and I think that it's really we've done some things really well, and I think that we've learned from a lot of things. So it's evolved into what I think is a pretty sound system so far. But if you're listening and you have some feedback or some criticism or suggestions, let us know. We're always open to further developing this league and turning it into, something that is just as good as it can be.
And that's all part of the process, right? Like you said, we've hit some nails right on the head, and there's been some where we've missed a few swings, but you gotta learn, you gotta adapt, you gotta try things in order to get
Like
the best result at the end of the day.
success ballast. Do you remember those,
Exactly.
Josh?
Oh yeah, those were so much fun. I remember feeling great with my car, and next week going like, what is this machine?
For
I
those of you that don't know, like let's give some background.
Yeah.
If you podiumed, if you podiumed in your race, the next race you got a ballast. So first place got a 30 kilogram, second got a 15 kilogram, and third place got a 10 kilogram. It was pretty brutal.
And I mean,
Why don't we bring that back?
for a while it did a good job of like keeping winners from being inconsistent, but at some point, I forget who it was who just kept getting 30 kilogram ballast and winning again. I want to say it was Moaning or Menning. I know he hates it when
Yeah,
people say that
many,
name.
many, and then I
Bending and
think
then
Matt
Matt.
Lehman,
Yeah.
Matt Lehman wouldn't show up when he had his ballast. He'd just not show up for the next race.
Well, Doug, going back to not winning a race but winning a championship, let's go back to the beginning of SRA. Uh, so you correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know the full story, but it was just you two that started this, correct?
Wrong.
No, very much wrong. We have so basically, Tyler, Tyler, go ahead and give your perspective on this. You can use the drop the different names if you feel comfortable doing so, but this was by no means just Tyler and me, but it evolved into what it is today through a multitude of, you know, avenues. But go ahead, Tyler, you give it the story.
Fun fact, Doug wasn't even one of the original admins, not because he didn't want to help or wasn't involved. It was because he didn't respond to my Google Forms survey when I was asking the group of guys that we were all kind of racing together with, like, hey, would anybody help me start another league? He just didn't respond, so he joined like a week later. So he is technically off by 7 days or something like that. But
Oh my gosh.
nothing actually serious. No, he's
I
been there from the get go. Just
The
not
SRA,
working.
the SRA onion reveals a new layer.
I
You're like brothers with
that
McDonald's.
that was when I basically didn't use Discord at all. So the only time I used it was when we were racing in the other league, and I was very reluctant to learn Discord. And then he was like, "Hey, let's start a league," and used Google Forms, which I loathe, and tried to make a new Discord, and I just was super lazy. So that's what you get.
So Bailey, you asked if it was just us two. It was not.
Yep.
The original league was myself, Travis Robinson, who is leading our graphics at the time, Matthew Schwartz, which was leading our stewarding at the time, Doug, and I think that's Peter. Yeah, Peter Reynolds. Peter Reynolds, who was leading our tech projects and bots at the time. So I said Doug, right?
Yeah, you did. You said
Okay.
Doug, no title.
Yeah. Doug was doing broadcasting, broadcasting and helping run the Discord. So we all kind of had our areas that we focused on, and of those 5, let's see, it's just me and Doug left. Yeah, just me and Doug left.
Mom and
Yeah,
Dad.
because Mom and Dad is a touchy subject, but we could get on that later. But I just wanted to clear the air because I know there's a lot of people that are under the impression that it was you two that started it and is left. But now that that's up in the air and clear, I hope everybody who listens to this is now aware. But
You will never hear Tyler or myself claim that we single-handedly started this league by no stretch of the imagination. We had help and support from a multitude of people that are much, much more talented in their different silos of talent than we are. Tyler and I have taken the management role, and good leaders surround themselves with more intelligent and more capable people. So we've been very blessed to be surrounded by people of those calibers. And Trav Robinson used Chris Stefiak to make the original SRA logo. I still remember going through the different iterations of when choosing the SRA logo. Again, a really cool experience. So we've had a lot of help, and those were the original people, and it's changed and evolved throughout the seasons to the team that we have today. And we've even branched out more roles with further and further responsibilities like race directors, series managers, moderators. So again, we are very blessed to have all the support we have, and Tyler and I have been able to facilitate all that through all that help.
Yeah, and Josh and I talk about this week in and week out about how talented not just the staff, but the people that are a part of SRA are and what help SRA benefit in the growth that I think is happening.
Tyler and I nerd out about that all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Half of our automations integrations would have never even been dreamt, let alone actually implemented and successfully implemented, if it wasn't for Dahi. The website, almost 100% Al. We've got you guys are creating this podcast. We've got broadcasting that's being constantly worked on and improved by the multiple talented people in the league. We've got like Coach Jeffries, I call him Coach. CJ,
So do I.
Coach. I'm
He
just
is
gonna call him
Coach.
Coach. Coach. Coach
Yeah.
is out there, and the tech team and all them are constantly like dreaming up cool new ways or like implementing cool new things to give us, I don't know, more data, more just new features like the CJA fantasy. I mean, what else? What else, Doug? I mean, they're just.
Oh, you could go on forever. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Don't even. So
the
that's
graphics
all
is
the
insane. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the interactive stuff, and then we get into where people are making these amazing liveries. Shout out to Fazli for making the official SRA livery for every single car in the game.
Yeah.
That again, and is gorgeous. Shout out to all of our sponsors that are contributing to the league to help support the different costs that we have, because again, we're not asking people to pay to participate. And that's helping us keep this thing afloat. And then the actual business sponsorships that we have has been really cool to see. It's really taken off the past couple seasons, and that's allowed us to provide some value and content for all of the people in the league. And then the graphic designers for the different cars and whatnot. But I've been blown away by the video content creation that has come to light the past couple seasons.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
Koa Dromo, Kevin Kovac, Selena Boonstra, making some awesome endurance promo videos, season promo videos, and just genuinely really like great content.
Yeah.
So very blessed, and to Bailey's point, we are humbled every day by the astounding creativity and talent that the people in this league possess and distribute on an ongoing basis.
For sure. And to do it on their own time for fun as well is what's amazing.
Yeah,
we're truly
and
blessed.
and I think we've talked about this in the staff chat. I think a couple of times is that this only works if this stays fun, and this stays a hobby. So as soon as this becomes like a chore and a job, like it, boom, you just kind of lose all interest in it because there's nothing that makes this worth it unless you absolutely like really enjoy one the place like SRA, and then two like the game and just the experience and like everything that you're doing. So it only works if it's fun for everyone. That's out here helping. And so that's also why we kind of have the attitude of like real life always has to come first, because this always needs to be like the thing that you come to for fun and enjoyment. And as soon as it starts really hindering real life, it never balances out in the equation. Like, right, like your job always has to come first, your family, like, you know, doing different things. We never want to punish anyone or put any expectation on them that they need to sacrifice that to do SRA. SRA is always supposed to be that like cool place that you're going to go do because you want to, because it's a great place to be at.
And to really echo that, Tyler and I have been able to step away a little bit because of the success of the delegation of responsibilities to very capable people. So things like Jeff Osborne taking over the broadcasting day to day for me has allowed me to, make myself available in other capacities. So it's been that way across the entire spectrum of responsibilities. And Mike Scott taking over graphics and stuff like that. I mean, it's just been, again, we are a community built by the community, and it's been really great to see that that progression.
For sure. Josh, I don't mean to completely cut you out of this, but I got
that's
one
okay.
more question. One more question, then you can take over for a bit. Just leading on this conversation, SRA just hit the 1 year mark back in, I believe it was December.
Right.
Yeah. Had the 1,000 member event at Indy, the 8 hour race, which was very,
So
very
much
fun.
fun.
So much fun. Everybody who was involved loved it, had great things to say. What I'm trying to get to is, where do you guys see yourself, or SRA? I guess we could put those in the same context here. Where do you see yourself in a year from now?
Doug, you go first.
Well,
It's kind of a big question, but
Don't
it
mean to
is.
put
It
you
is.
on the spot.
Yeah, it's kind of a loaded question. You don't
So
know what's going to happen, but
I'm gonna peel back some of those fleshy layers for you, but I'm gonna do so with some caution here. So I'm gonna preface it with that. So um, SRA has grown very quickly, and we would be fools to say that we were prepared at every step of the way. So we are learning as we go. So we're at a point in the just volume of participation where we need to start really contemplating what the future of SRA looks like. And this question really starts to expose that. And the admin team has spent quite a bit of time discussing what that looks like. And I'd be lying if I said that we're all on the same page and we all agree. We don't. I think that there's some people at the helm of SRA that want to stop growing, and then there's some people that want to continue growing without any filter. So that being said, the future of SRA is a certainty. Tyler and I are going to continue to promote this league and facilitate it as much as humanly possible for as long as we can. However, we're not certain as to what that picture really looks like yet. We're kind of got the framework in mind, but honestly, it's going to really rely on the community, like we've been really, surrounding this entire conversation around how self-reliant it can become, where we provide the structure and that wonderful volunteers come through and help us continue to propagate content, right? And then lastly, we've talked about, what does the competitive scene within SRA look like? Are we happy with the racing that's going on? Because the last thing we want is to continue to grow at a expense to the quality of our content.
Yes.
So the splits this season are as close as ever. It's really cool to see how tight the racing is. But we don't want to lose what is the most important asset to SRA, and that is the community itself. If this community becomes so large that you feel like you're just a number.
A number, yeah.
Yeah, that I dread that, So we're definitely flirting at that point where we are, toting that we are the largest North American GT3 league right now. Where what is the, I'll let Tyler take over from here. I don't know what that ultimately where it comes to a head, but all I can promise is that I personally, I can't speak for anyone else, am going to continue to provide as much as I can for the health and success of this league.
Yeah, so I would say like within the next year, first and foremost, I think that SRA Grid Report will be a top 10 Apple podcast.
Oh, come on. Come on. Let's go.
That's my number one goal.
Take that, Joe Rogan.
Joe who?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll get him on here.
He's
Season 8
Spotify.
finale. Yeah. Oh, you're right. See, we'll actually beat him in Apple Podcasts. So look at that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Put it on the recruitment material, Doug. Join the North America's largest ACC league with a podcast that has more subscribers on Apple Podcasts than the Joe Rogan show. So,
ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Next Reddit title. It's gonna be really long. So realistically, next year, this community, it's always been community focused. So everything we do has to have that in mind, and so we don't want to grow at the expense of you knowing who you're racing with and you knowing people in here and you having friends and this being the place that you want to hang out when you're discussing sim racing or real life motorsport or other topics. So that's our first goal, is to keep it that way. The second is that any new things that we add from here on out have to come from the community. So, and I think that's where we're going to see most of our growth, is like if we wanted to start a new podcast, there's no way Doug and I would have the time to do it. But, hey, when two members come to us and say, yeah, we'd love to start an SRA podcast talking about just the events that are going on, the, real life racing, and just anything else that we want to talk about and keep it, centered around here. Can we do that? Like, yeah, absolutely. Like that's where you're going to see SRA grow more, I think, this next year. So like, look at what we're doing with, multi-class and what we're doing with Assetto Corsa. So exactly. Multi-class Mayhem is growing because Curtis is taking that on, and so he's basically, running that show. And if more people want to see that happen, we need more people to join to specifically help there. And so Kevin Kovac has been running the Assetto Corsa side of SRA. And I think we're going to see that grow a lot, and he's going to need help there. So, like, if he wants to add stewarding to that, or if he wants to add any additional features, he's going to need support there. And so we're going to need to see community members step up to help support that aspect of the league.
Yeah.
The biggest risk.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. I was
going to say, just like the biggest risk from my seat is just how popular is the actual game ACC and the health of the game that we're all kind of centered around. And so knowing that that's a really big risk, I really like that we're kind of branching out into some other games and other aspects now to have other spots for people to get connected and find their niche inside of SRA. So one way we've kind of planned on guarding against this being just a number was, right, we started from the get-go of teams. We make you drive with a teammate for a reason. We want you to know at least one other person in SRA that you can talk to about the events, about the racing, learn from, connect with, and you feel obligated to support them and they feel obligated to support you, because then you want to show up and you're not going to just abandon them mid-season. So that was step one. And then we started getting bigger, and so we kind of made division splits, and we said, all right, you should know who's in your split and race against them. And then multiple divisions, like, all right, well, now it's getting really big. So then conglomerates came about, and we said, okay, now you can have teams across divisions because you've met people and you want to stay in touch with them, but the general chat and the team series chat can just blow up to where you don't know what's being said. So now let's see if we can create little sections for you in our Discord where you can still connect. So that's why we made it easy for you to request new text chats and stuff like that. And so we've kind of added these things. We'll add more games to SRA if someone wants to run a series with our community. That's great. We're happy to provide like the chassis for you to kind of build your own thing here. And so as long as ACC stays healthy, we'll continue to be healthy. If a new game comes out, I don't know if we'll abandon ACC or if we'll switch to a new game. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we've already built tools for a game. Why would we just abandon those?
Yeah.
But seeing like AC2 on the horizon or Rensport, I don't know what community features those games are going to bring to the table. I've got my meetings with their CEOs here later this week, and we'll kind of discuss,
Oh.
But
Big news.
Breaking
we'll,
news.
we'll want to see
More
what
onion layers.
we'll want to see what like they have to like for leagues before we like say, okay, this is something we're gonna put some time into.
For
So
sure. Especially something like the GT3 series, like that is, and you guys have said it before, that is the backbone. It's not everything of the league, but it is the backbone of SRA, and that's where a lot of the attention and everything comes from. To move that championship to a different platform would have to be the correct decision. So it's going to take a lot of thought.
Also a lot of execution. I mean, any new platform that we're implementing requires an immense amount of tech support, where we're building championships, we're building assets from a graphic design perspective. I mean, it takes. It's like steering a ship. It's a slow process. You know, we're not a little boat anymore, so everything has its place, and it takes a hot minute to get around. But like Tyler said, we're facilitating other content to be brought in so that this community can further, you know, cannibalize itself and become more and more awesome. Um, and all that we ask in return is that the content, the quality of the content, reflects the SRA mantra of, you know, quality over quantity, and that it's community focused. So, and the people that have branched out, like Curtis Lee and Kevin, like Kovacs, that have been mentioned before, have done a tremendous job. So, thanks to them for that.
Yeah, thank you to everybody on the board and everybody in the Discord. Like where we started this whole conversation off, like without any part of this, any brick in this wall, it's gonna crumble. So everybody plays an equal role. But on the point of you saying quality over quantity, I think where I want to take us for our last point on the night here, SRA direction, is one of our high quality events that doesn't happen very often, and that's another endurance event coming up with the 5 hours of Imola on March 11th. We're going to have 3 splits again, just like we did for Indy. 1 to 2 drivers a team, 65-minute stints with 3 sets of tires maximum for the entire weekend. Are you guys looking to compete in that? What are you feeling? Doug, you're laughing already, so it sounds like you're looking forward to getting the popcorn, or you're looking forward to having fun.
When we posted the 3 dried tire minimum maximum, I could hear the people screeching and
Oh.
reading it. this season we have made a very specific and direct decision to make things more challenging. The community has been begging for variable weather, variable, conditions, pit strategies, all this other stuff. So, um, Tyler, myself, and the other cooks in the kitchen have made some very discerning decisions for the content, and that 3 tire maximum is pretty funny in my opinion.
It's very funny.
It's gonna
I
be
ain't gonna
tough.
lie.
But people are now putting on their tinfoil hats and saying, "Well, it's not even going to rain. It never rains in an SRA race." So it's just funny. But I'm looking forward to that. I don't think I'm going to be racing in. I'm probably going to lean more towards the broadcasting side of things, but or even stewarding to help Duran out. But um, yeah, the community has been begging for another endurance event, and I think this is going to be another really successful one.
No doubt. What about you, Tyler? You planning on taking part?
I believe I've got a teammate, a D5 teammate, and so
Ooh.
someone I've never raced with before on an endurance race. So hoping to have some fun. I know that the limited dry tires made everybody just kind of like think during the SRA 1K, like, what am I gonna do? And really changed up strategies and kept people on their toes all the way throughout the race. And it's like people were like, "What? Only 3?" I think that's the perfect number because if it does stay dry the entire time, you've got a double stint, like 2 different tires. But if it rains and then dry, then rains and dry, and kind of goes back and forth like it could, man, you could be, do I put fresh ones on now? Which do I do the used ones? It looks like it's going to go raining in another 30 minutes. Like, it could add some real fun, not just gimmicky challenges, but real fun challenges in an endurance race that really rely on some strategy and wheel to wheel racing. So
Tyler, can you clarify something for me?
yeah,
Those 3 dry tires. Does that include
it
qualifying?
does, and that's on purpose. So
Oh, I love that.
do you go out and you say, you know what, I'm going to put in 1 heater to take as little tire wear off and just see the best I can do, or do I go out for a full stint and I just pray that it rains on Sunday and try to start on pole? It's gonna be an interesting challenge. Or do you just say, you know what, how important is a qualifying in a 24-hour race? And and do you just sit in the pits and just let people go out there and waste some tires? You never know. You don't know.
It'll definitely be interesting, and I mean, could throw some more into the bag and say, what if it rains during quali? But with a track like Imola, I think it'll be very hard to find a balance between a wet setup and a dry setup. And we're gonna be, if my memory serves me correct, we'll be racing Imola in the wet that week for GT3.
Yep, that's on purpose. And so
Yeah, so
when I
it's
designed the calendar, it was okay. If we're gonna have a variable race at a track, let's make it the same track we have a wet race at, so that way people are absolutely gonna practice wet weather driving. Because if it's for the main event, they'll be prepared for the endurance event, and then for the endurance event, they can just do some additional dry practice, which is a lot easier to do and a lot more fun to do. So hopefully, people will be more prepared for this endurance event.
that's an awesome approach to it because I I know there's probably a select few out there who would look at an opinion like that and go, oh well, that's soft. Real racers don't get that. And it's like, okay, well, we're not real racers. We're trying to have fun and create better racing. So let's take more practice,
Yeah.
especially
Believe it
working
or
on the
not,
harder condition first.
my occupation is not a race car driver,
Yeah,
so sometimes some things need to be streamlined for all of us that don't have the ability to crank out hours on the rig.
exactly. We're all still very proud of the both of you for removing the racing line this season.
Oh,
Oh
so
man,
happy for you guys.
I'm so slow now. It's so bad.
If you're slow, I am not moving. I'm
I
so bad.
like so here's the thing is like with the racing, I never braked when it said to brake. However, I used it as a constant reference now I'm realizing I use it as a constant reference on track on where my car should be placed, and also when to brake. Like it goes red, I know that it's like a beat and a half after it goes red to then where I slam on my brakes. And I'm using the other like braking markers, but it was like the mix between the timing of the line and that off track marker as my breaking point, and like that's I had just gotten in those rhythms. Well, now I'm all over the place. I'm a hot mess. I'm a full like second slower, I feel like, without the racing line. So, week 1 was terrible. We'll see how week 2 goes.
I just need someone much more intelligent than me to mod LMP2 cars into ACC, and that's all I'm going to use. And everyone else stays in GT3, and I just get a stark advantage, and we call it a day.
Well, I'll say if you did the amount of LMP2 laps you did in a GT3, you would have no issues.
Shut
Amen. Amen.
I take that personally.
Hey,
You
those
had
cars are a lot of
90
fun.
laps on Thursday.
Yo, what?
I don't want to
On
talk
Thursday alone?
about it.
it was
Your
like-
boy was grinding.
It was a lot.
I'm surprised he
Dog.
wasn't grinding his woodworking or his cooking, Mr. RuneScape.
Listen, that was a fad. Tyler can tell you about how long he lasted. He was like, "Oh, Group Ironman sounds fun," and then I spent like 2 days building up my account, waiting for him to log in. He logs in 5 minutes later. He's like, "I'm done." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Bro,
Damn.
I did not need another distraction in my life. I have enough going on.
Yeah, well, I got it out of my system, so now I won't play and skip again for another 365 days, and then I'll come
Next
back around
league.
again.
The next league I'm doing it. Next leagues I'm doing it.
Yeah, all right. You hear that? We're gonna make a league group here in SRA, and we'll play league with the leagues. But yeah, all seriousness, I appreciate you guys having us on. Really, really proud to say that this league has propagated some cool content, and you guys have done so. So thank you for that. And if there's anything that the community wants to hear from us, or you guys want to hear more from us, we're happy to come back.
Yeah, it's like I said at the start, I think it's an honor to have you guys on. I mean, I look at you guys up at the top, like we went over. You guys are not the starting point of SRA, but you're the two that are remaining. So you do carry quite a weight around here, and to get to shoot the shit about what came to be and everything else that goes on, it's awesome to take that opportunity.
Oh, we did start SRA. Like we did start. We weren't the only ones to start it.
That's what I meant. Sorry, it wasn't solely you two.
Yeah.
But
No, it's never been just us two. It's never.
Yeah.
I mean.
it's a community, baby.
Oh yeah.
Just the two of us. But
Whoa.
yo, we hit it with it.
Hey,
But,
yo.
Not just a guest
that
appearance,
was-
but a singing.
Yeah, that was low and sultry too.
Xbox record that.
Haz is gonna clip that. Yep, that's gonna be another one of Doug's singing moments.
But I will say this, I'm very accessible. So I'm in chat quite a bit. I will join VC. I've done personal coaching for people. Now that the racing line's gone, don't ask for coaching. I'm terrible. But like if you see me in voice chat, don't be afraid, and you just come by, say hi. Don't let the clout of admin scare you away.
What clout?
very-
What cloud are you talking
I'm
about?
just saying clout, and I literally in my chair did air quotes. So, again,
You're making me cringe.
I'm just saying.
Bro, I've been
proverbi-
cringing since the first 30 seconds.
No, but I'm saying, well, it's true. But I'm just saying, I've heard from people that were, a little bit intimidated or maybe too shy to come in and talk to in a voice chat because they see like higher ranking people in the voice chat. And just come on by. We're super friendly, and we want to continue to integrate in the community. There's a lot of new faces, and we haven't met a lot of you. So
I truly hope no one actually thinks that. I mean, if they do, I echo what Doug is saying. I really hope no one thinks that they see us and think, oh no, I don't want to go bother them. Like, I hope that's not the case.
I've heard some whispers of that from new people that really don't know us as people. I think that our absolute drunkenness on this past season's livery and schedule reveal shows just how serious we are.
Oh,
Yeah, very
boy.
professional individuals.
That was, wasn't it?
Ooh.
We love this league and we will do anything for it. But yeah, we are not scary people. You come chat with us. We have an open door policy. So I will leave it at that.
Doug has a open backdoor policy.
Heyo.
Hey, yeah.
Well,
The
boys,
passcode is Crazy Eights.
crazy
Oh,
eights. Don't give that
don't even
out.
get me started. Chihuahua.
Wow.
Play Blazing Eights with me, and you'll be my best friend.
Yeah.
Play code names with me and win.
No, you don't
Best-
want to be a Doug's team.
Best friends for life.
He'll just call you names.
And when you
Name
make
caller.
stupid guesses,
Oh, it's not what happened.
He'll call you a silly poo poo head.
Well,
much worse than
Bailey, Josh, thank you for having us on. Like Doug said, it has been an honor to be on the podcast, and please feel free to invite us back anytime that you want to have us on.
Yeah, it'll definitely happen again, and it'd be cool if we could make it a often thing and less of a formal thing. So, yeah, thank you for coming on. Thank you for spending the night with us and letting everybody take a look back behind the curtains of SRA a little bit. Bailey, any closing remarks you've got?
No, just real honor. To be honest, happy to be here once again.
Well, from all of us here, it's been the SRA Grid Report, and we will see you next week.
Love you. Bye.